Today I'm going to show you how to create quizzes and tests on your Moodle. Now what I love about testing and quizzing on the Moodle is number one, it grades most of the questions for you. I also like the fact that it keeps your questions in a database, so it's really easy to create quizzes and tests in the future. And you can import these quizzes and tests from one class to the other if you want to use the same quiz and test. Now it can be a little much to front load, but there are also a lot easier ways of creating questions on the Moodle using Aiken formatting, which I'm actually going to show you guys next week because I didn't want this module to be like 20 minutes long. So this week I'm just going to show you the basics of how to set up your quizzes and tests, how to type questions in, and the different types of questions that you can use. To create a quiz in Moodle, the first thing you're going to have to do is to turn your editing on. So you go to the right-hand corner and you click on Turn Editing On. Once you've turned your editing on, you're going to scroll down to the week where you'd like to create your quiz. Once you've gone to your module, the week you want to add the quiz, click on Add an Activity, find Quiz, and click on Quiz. And that'll bring you to the quiz creation screen. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to name your quiz. And under the introduction, it's kind of like the directions for the students when they get to your quiz. Then you can scroll down and edit the quiz. So for instance, I can enable it to open at a certain time and date, so it can be there for students to see, but the students can't actually access it until it opens. And so I choose the date the quiz needs to open, and then I choose the time. Notice the time is in military time. So I'm going to set my open the quiz. I'm going to open it at 1:30. I'm going to close it at 2 o'clock. I can also choose how many times my students take the quiz. I can have them take it once, or I can have them take it an unlimited amount of time. Then I can tell the Moodle what grade I want, so I can have them take the highest grade. Now in this case, I'm only going to allow them to take it once. So you can scroll down, and in the layout section, you can choose how you want your questions ordered, so they can stay how they are when you put them into Moodle, or you can have them shuffled randomly. You can also choose how many pages you'd like for the students to see. So you can have 1 question per page, 2 questions per page, 4 questions per page. All depends on you. Under question behavior, shuffle within the question means that the students' answers will be different. So one person's ABCD will not be the same as the next student's answers. And you can also tell Moodle how your questions are going to behave. Do you want the students to get immediate feedback? Do you want them to get feedback when the question is over? Do you want it to be adaptive? So there's a lot of things that you can do with question behavior. You can also set your students' review options. And if you want them to get feedback during the test, under review options on the left, it says during the attempt, so you can tell the Moodle how you want them to get that feedback. Me personally, I like for them to get the feedback after, so you can click on what type of feedback you want your students to get. So then I can scroll down, and again, these are more feedback options while the quiz is still open on the left-hand side, after the quiz is closed on the right-hand side. You can also require the students to have a password in order to take the quiz. So all you'll do is you'll type your password in, and then you'll give it to the students before they take the quiz. You can also give feedback to your students based on grades. So the boundary for the grade is 100, and so if the student makes 100, then the feedback "great job" will pop up. If they make a 90, then I can tell the computer what I want the feedback to be, "nice work." If it's an 80, again, I can give more feedback to my students, "let's keep studying." And if the student makes a 70, "we need to study some more." Now, if I need to add more feedback, I just click on Add 3 more feedback. And when I'm done, I can hit save and return to course or save and display. So I'm going to show you what happens when you hit save and return to course. That's going to take you back to your course. So you're going to find the quiz that you just wrote. If I don't want my students to see the quiz, I can always close the quiz by clicking on the eye. Now, if I want to edit the quiz, all I need to do is click on the quiz and then click on Edit Quiz. Now this brings up this editing screen. The first thing I'm going to show you how to do is create categories to organize your questions. You do that by scrolling down, going to Settings, and clicking on Question Bank in Settings. That will open up your question bank, which will show you your different categories and questions. So I'm going to scroll back down to my settings on the left-hand side, and I'm going to click on Categories. And this brings up my categories area where I can create different categories. It's very simple to use. These are my different categories so far, and if I scroll down it says Add Category. Under Name, all I've got to do is type the name of the category. I'm going to say Unit 7, Political Parties. If I want to add a category description, I can, but if I don't, I just hit Add Category. And now you can see that I have an additional category. Now I can edit these categories by clicking on the hand with the pencil. The numbers off to the side of the category shows me how many questions are in each category. But once I'm done with my categories, I go to Edit Quiz, which is under Settings on the left-hand side, and that brings me back to my quiz. Now I already have some quiz questions added. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose the unit I want to add my questions from, which is on the top right-hand side, and then I'm going to click on the page or the question that I want to add, and I hit Add to Quiz. And you'll notice that pops up in my quiz section. Now if I want to write a quick question, I hit Add a Question. I pick the type of question I want, and I'm going to pick multiple choice, and then I hit Next. Now you just follow the instructions. I'm going to type in a question name. I'm going to write my question. Then I'm going to write my answers. So under choice 1 where it says answer, I'm going to write my first answer. And it's the right answer. So you see where it says grade, I'm going to click on grade, I'm going to scroll down to 100. Under choice 2, I'm going to put my next question. Notice underneath it says grade, it's the incorrect answer, so I'm going to put none. I'm going to do the same thing for choice 3 and choice 4. Now if I want to have more than one correct answer, I can do that by going to the top where it says one or multiple answers and clicking on the multiple answers allowed. Then I'm going to scroll down, and the correct answers where it says grade, I'm going to give them a percent value. So choice 1 will be 50% and choice 2 will also be 50%. When I'm done, I'm going to scroll down to the bottom of the page, and I am going to save everything that I've done. So I'm going to hit Save Changes. And that will show you the multiple choice question that you wrote. Now, if you don't like the question, you can always go to the right-hand side of the question where there's an up arrow and a red X. Click on the red X, and that will remove the question from your quiz. Clicking the up arrow or down arrow will shuffle the questions around on your edit screen. Alright, so let's start with a clear slate. Now, it's so easy to add questions to the quiz. Choose the unit or the category you want to add questions from. If you see errors with the questions, you can click the little editing hand with the pencil, go in, fix the error. When you're done fixing the error, scroll down to the bottom and hit Save. Alright, now I can view the questions by clicking on the magnifying glass on the right-hand side to see if it's a question that I want to add to the test. Now, all I've got to do is add the questions. I just click on the boxes that I want to add to the test, and when I'm done, I click on the Add to Quiz button, and it's that easy. My quiz is done. So when I'm done, all I have to do is hit Save. I go back to my Civics and Economics main page, and then as you can see in my module, my quiz pops up at the bottom of the week. And I can preview my quiz by clicking on the quiz, hit Preview Quiz Now, and I can go through and check my questions. Now if I see an error, I can hit Edit Question, go back in, fix my error, and then resave my question. When I'm done viewing the quiz, when I'm done previewing the quiz, all I've got to do is click on the Civics and Economics cookie in the top toolbar. It takes me back to my module. And now all I have to do is put the quiz where I want to put it. And I do that by clicking on the arrows and dragging it to wherever it needs to go. And that is how you create a quiz in your Moodle. As always, one of the best ways to learn is to play with the quiz settings on the Moodle. If you have any questions, you can post them in the comment section below, or you can shoot me an email. Until next time.